Hey everybody, welcome. Today is day 4 of our second week of the Get Your Biz Lean in 2016 30-day, 35-day, 37-day challenge that we are putting out there for you guys. Now, this week we're talking about getting your finances in order. And if you've been following along the whole week, first thing we talked about was addressing the mindsets, the things that are holding you back, the mind shifts that need to happen in order for you to make something out of your day. Then we talked about, okay, once you've got your mind shift taken care of, how are you going to make more money? Well, it's easier to make more money, or how are you going to get your finances in order? And it's easier to make more money than it is to try and cut back on your spending from somewhere else. So we said, all right, perfect. That's great. That's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to make more money as opposed to trying to cut back. So first thing you need to do is you need to figure out which source of more money you want to make, right? You can have interest, capital, royalties. You can have earned income. Well, earned income is the #1 income for most people. So we said, all right, let's figure out how to increase our earned income. Best way to do that is to have a product or a service that you can sell. And then you have total control over that, right? I need $500. Let me go sell $500 with my product or service. How cool is that? How exciting is that? So then we talked about how to find your product or your service. Which one, some of you guys may have had 30, 50 ideas running around in your head. We talked about how to figure out which one was the one that you wanted to really focus on this year. And then next up, we said, all right, that's perfect. How do we move this? It's one thing to have a great product or service. Plenty of people have great products or services. Not many people have a product or service that they can also move at the same time, as in they can also sell it at the same time. So that's what we're talking about today. And yesterday we did a recap of the entire sales process. And again, I just have to stress to you guys, everything I'm teaching you guys, everything I'm cramming into these 30, 45-minute broadcasts, it's a 2-day event plus some. So I'm making this work because I want to give you guys the content. But if you have questions, if you need more time to make these transitions, to create these products or these services, that is totally okay. Make that happen for yourself. You can do it. That's fine. Come back to these. The recordings are available. Come back to them as often as you need to get the content down. And if you have questions, ask. So today we're talking about the first portion of the sales process, generating a lead and setting an appointment. And this is really important because if you can't generate a lead and you can't set an appointment, you can't make money. So I talked about one of the ladies that I know that came up to me, and I really had a lot of fun chatting with her. She was amazing. She was taking fudge. Her family always told her that you make great fudge. Go make fudge, sell fudge. So she's selling these little onesies and twosies. And if she wants to make serious money, she's going to go get an appointment with a CVS or with a local gas station or with an HEB, or for those of you who don't know what HEB is, it's basically the Texas version of Walmart, except way cooler. And so if she really wants to make money, big money selling this fudge, she's got to be able to sell it on a large scale. The best way to do that is to find who your client is, get a lead to that person, and a lead is a name and a number. We're gonna go into more detail in the first two, and set an appointment. If you cannot generate the lead, you cannot set the appointment, you can't make the sale. You have to have someone to sell to. You have to be able to get in front of them to make that sale. So here's what I'm going to talk about. Now, for those of you who are sitting there going, well, Stephanie, I don't need to set an appointment. I sell everything online. Okay, great. Here's what I want you to do then. I want you to think about everything I'm about to talk about as it pertains to getting people to the selling platform. So if you use a landing page to sell your product or service, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But everything I'm going to talk about in the appointment setting section, think about that as it pertains to how do I get people to my landing page? How do I get people to my selling tool? What am I going to give them to get them there? And then when we get to the close, we'll talk about that. Okay, but let's talk about what am I going to do to get these leads that I generated to my landing page to sell, or what am I going to do to get to the person who is the decision maker. So I want to go ahead real quick and screen share again, because where is it? Here we go. So we have our quick recap. Great. Here's the sales process. Again, it starts with generating a lead, moves on to appointment setting, moves on to building trust and rapport, moves on to identifying what the customer's needs are. Because if the customer will buy what they need. If you can figure out what they need and show them what your product or service is that fills that need, they will buy from you almost every single time. Sorry, coffee break. And then you move into share the benefits. Sharing the benefits. People often share the features. The features are what you get for your product. The benefits are what you're actually buying. And then, of course, you have to be able to close and handle objections. And those two we're going to talk about tomorrow. But we're going to start here, lead generation and appointment setting, because these two are so important. And I've got the wrong PowerPoint up. That's awesome. That's okay. I don't need it right this instant anyhow. So let me come back on the screen here. I'm going to talk with you guys while I fix my PowerPoint issues. I'm going to talk with you guys about the first step, generating a lead. You see, everything that I teach to people starts with the mindset, starts with how you're approaching life, how you're thinking about it. And then it moves to what I call the outer game, or the action steps. What techniques are you going to implement to generate your leads? And then we move into the action. Now, backing it up, it's so important to realize that you have to have the mindset right first. The mind has to shift to open itself to these possibilities. And the way I'm about to teach you guys lead generation, and particularly the mindset behind lead generation, is probably going to blow some of your minds, because most of you guys have probably never heard it taught this way. I've had people come up to me after the end of my trainings and say, wow, Steph, holy crap. That was unbelievable. That was unfreaking believable. That was so good. Where'd you come up with that? I'm like, I have great trainers and I make sure that I follow the best people in the industry so I can make sure I bring the best of the best to you. But the first thing to recognize is, what is a lead? Because a lot of people get caught up when they're generating a lead. They get caught up in, oh, I've got to sell this lead. I've got to convince this person to spend their money with me. Oh, I've got to set the appointment when I'm generating the lead. So all of the techniques I'm about to teach you to generate leads, none of them are designed to set up the appointment for you. And all of them are designed to get you a lead, which is a name and a form of contact. A name and a form of contact, that is absolutely it. I see people all the time who insist that they have to qualify their leads. No, you qualify prospects, you generate leads. All right, when you have a lead, then you figure out which funnel it's going to go into. Is this a referral? Is this a client? Is this a future client? Is this nobody that I need to be paying attention to? All right, but you have to have that lead to figure out what you're going to do with it. So everything I'm going to teach you guys here is how to get the lead. How do I go from zero to hero? How do I go from having 0 leads to generating 5 to 10 leads a day and getting myself to the point where I have more leads pouring in than I literally know what to do with? I have more leads pouring in than I can possibly follow up with. And I look down at my desk for this because I have leads everywhere right now. I'm working on getting that organized. And I've actually hired someone to help me with the appointment setting, with the qualifying and appointment setting, because I'm bringing in more leads at this point than I can actually get through in a week, in a month. I have some leads on my desk that I generated a month ago and I have not had the opportunity to follow up with yet. That is how powerful these systems are. When you get these really working for yourself, you have leads coming in left and right, and you will not be able to believe how easy it is. It's amazing. So the first thing, the first step is to get it very clear in your mind that a lead is nothing more than a name and a form of contact. And when I'm generating a lead, the purpose of generating a lead is just to generate a lead. So many times people get caught up in, well, if I'm generating a lead, the purpose is to make a sale. No, it's not. If you're generating a lead, the purpose is to generate a lead, because again, you can put it into the referrals funnel, you can put it into the client funnel, you can put it into the prospect funnel, you can put it into the appointment funnel, you can put it into the reject funnel. You got all sorts of places you can put that lead. That does not mean you have to sell it. And so many people mess that portion up because they start selling to every person they get in front of. They start selling to every lead they generate. They start selling before they even have a lead. You know, one of the techniques I'm going to talk about is social media. And I see people all the time. They come into a group, they post, and then they disappear. And they tried to sell when they didn't even have a lead. Or the people who run Facebook ads. And they're running ads to a huge variety, trying to sell their product or their service before they even have a lead out of that. That's not saying that there's anything wrong with running ads on social media, or there's anything wrong with going into a group and trying to recruit some business out of it. But there's a proper way to do that to increase your likelihood of success. So when I talk about lead generation, all I want you to worry about is getting a name and getting a form of contact. If you can focus on getting a name and getting a form of contact, you'll be golden. Now, the next step, the next mindset to shift is that you don't have to generate all your own leads. How cool would that be? Right? So some of you guys know I got married in 2015. I went on my honeymoon and I came back and there were leads sitting in my inbox. What? There were sales sitting in my inbox too, because I use systems to generate my leads. I use systems to generate my sales. And everything that I do that's going to generate a lead has to produce multiple value. You know, I teach, when I teach, this is a little bit off track, but kind of on track. So when I teach time management, I tell people they have to leverage their time. And unless I'm going to get 2 or 3 times the amount or 2 or 3 times the results for the amount of time I'm about to invest, I often won't invest that because it doesn't give me enough return. It would be like going to a billionaire and saying, hey, if you give me $1 million, I'll give you back $1 million and $10 in 10 years. They're going to sit there and say, what the heck? No, I can get a better return on my investment anywhere else. Same thing, same thing. So when I go to generate leads, I have to be generating leads on a large scale and in a way that doesn't require extra attention from me to generate the lead. I need to have leads coming in from methods, from systems that will run themselves with or without my attention. So that if I decide I'm going to go on vacation, I can come back and have leads waiting for me. I don't have to be here for my business to run itself. And that is really a huge sign, a big sign that your business is mature and your business is able to take care of itself and take care of you. Because otherwise, the business is running you. You are not running the business. Coffee break again. All right. Sorry, I've been a lot of speaking so far this week, and so my throat is needing a little extra love to keep working at this point. So what do we do from there? All right, Stephanie, got it. A lead is a name and a number, and I need to have systems in place to generate leads. Because here's how my coach told me once when I first started working with him. He goes, Stephanie, I want you to generate 5 leads a day. I said, holy crap, are you insane? He goes, no, I'm not insane. I want you to generate 5 leads a day. And I was like, that's a lot of leads. He goes, when you get the right systems in place, 5 leads a day will be pennies. I said, all right, I'll try it out. When I started to get those systems in place, and that's what I want to teach you guys. A system is something that saves you time, energy, and money. Saves, S-Y-U, time, or save yourself, right? So S-Y-S, but save yourself time, energy, and money. A system. The other definition that I use for a system is that a system is anything that will run itself with or without your feedback. A system is something that will run itself and produce a consistent result with little to no extra effort on your part. When you have a really strong system in place, you just run the system and the results take care of themselves. That is what I'm going to teach you to generate leads with, because that is the most important thing that I could possibly teach you. So let me go ahead and go back to screen sharing, and I'm going to talk about the number one. When I got started with my business, this was the number one technique that I used for lead generation, and that is social media. Some of you guys are going, wait, what? You were just berating social media, Steph. Yeah, okay, I was. But I was berating it for being done wrong. Social media is powerful. And before I was able to go out and recruit leads all the time on my own, this was my technique for lead generation. This was the first technique that I started with to generate leads and to make sales. It's easy to run. It takes very little time to run. It's great. So here's what I encourage you to do. Pick your platforms, right? This is just 8 platforms. There are hundreds of social media platforms out there. I think this is the 8 most popular right now, although Blab and Periscope are both definitely up and coming. But you've got Facebook, you got Twitter, you've got a blog, you've got Google Plus, which is only on there because this is a Google icon, because Google Plus is not actually one of the most powerful social media platforms. You got Vine, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Now, I will comment on Google Plus just briefly. This is extremely helpful for SEO purposes, which is for generating traffic to your website. But that's pretty much the extent of Google Plus's usefulness. So, Facebook pretty much applies to anybody, right? Because, okay, backing up, just to be totally clear, what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to walk you through some of these platforms so you can start to pick which platform has your audience and which one are you going to want to invest your time in. So I personally spend time on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, which is not on here, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram, and on my blog. I do not use Pinterest. I do not use Vine. Vine just because I have no interest in building up Vine and Pinterest at the same time. And I also have no interest in building up YouTube and Vine at the same time. So Facebook, talking about the audience of Facebook. Facebook's audience is pretty much everybody. Pretty much anybody you want to talk to is going to be on Facebook. That's great. I highly recommend pretty much everybody is on Facebook. Either use the groups, have a page, share information to your personal profile, although you do have to be really careful with that because Facebook is starting to really clamp down on people who are sharing too much business stuff to their personal profile. So make sure that if you're going to share business stuff to your personal profile, it really needs to be about a 5-to-1 ratio. Share something personal, interact with people, do something personal, and then share something business related. So Facebook, pretty much everyone is there. Pick your poison. You want to do the groups. So if you're going to go into the groups, here's how I recommend running the group strategy. Find a group that has your target market in it. So if your target market is is business owners, right? Here's what I would recommend doing. This is one of my favorite groups. Here, I'll actually walk you guys through and show you this. Here we go. Go to facebook.com. And this is for business owners. This is my personal favorite business owning group, okay? You can do it online marketing. Caters to mostly business owners. I've picked up clients out of this group. And here's what I recommend doing. First of all, you go through the group and you interact with people, right? Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, nice. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. I heard someone talking about that the other day. He was dealing with a client who had lost all their data for the third time. I guess it's less funny when it happens to you. All right, so you go in and, comment on it, okay? Right, sometimes it's just like some of the stuff that's in here, okay? Then you come up and you add some value. So let's do this. I'm gonna make a quick post in here. Hey everyone. Yesterday I did a training on how to create systems in your business to relieve stress and increase profitability. Thought y'all would love to hear the recap. 1, systems build value in your business. They make communication easy. They increase the work environment, which leads to happier employees and longer term employees. 2, creating your system. Pick which system you want to create. Marketing, sales, HR, customer service, product or service delivery. Which one causes you the biggest headache? Make it into a reproducible system. 3, document. Document everything you do, your best employee does, and the market does. Combine them to create the best, most unique system for your industry. 4, review. Make sure the lowest common denominator can understand it. That means the least qualified person to run the job has to be able to understand it easily. 5, implement. 6, review. Oops. Wow. All right. And 7, repeat. Steps 6 and 5 until perfect. All right, so what I just did here was I added some value to the group. That had nothing to do with me, right? Yeah, it was something that I trained, but I just took, I don't know, what was that, 2 minutes maybe of my day to add that content to the group. And someone's going to interact with that. Some people are going to have a lot of fun interacting with that. And I will get commentary about, oh, wow, this is so helpful. This is what I needed. I added value to the group. And as people comment, interact, and like that comment, I'll friend them and add them to my spreadsheet. And then those are a lead. And sometimes those leads go into, like I said, my referrals. Sometimes those leads go into my sales. But I always grab them off social media, put them into my spreadsheet so that I can track the leads that I have generated for myself. So that's the group's message. Now that works on Facebook, that works on LinkedIn. It doesn't really work on Twitter so much. Twitter is really, Twitter's another really broad base. You're gonna have pretty much your entire audience on Twitter. You just have to be able to find them. So this isn't a social media marketing class, so I'm not gonna go into tons of details there. Pinterest is really hot and popular, especially for women. If your audience is 50, 60, 70% women, I would highly recommend you put yourself on Pinterest because it's creative, it's craftsy. I've got 2 clients who use Pinterest regularly. One of them is a a cook, a kitchen. She does cooking stuff. And the other one is a quilt shop, and they both are on Pinterest regularly. LinkedIn is business professionals. Instagram is a very wide audience as well. So those are the reasons I've chosen for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because I know my audience is out there. And then LinkedIn, because I know my audience is usually professionals, people who are looking for a professional edge in their industry. So before you pick your platforms, do some research, figure out which ones work for you, which ones have your target market on them already, and then build up on there. Follow other people who are super popular, super successful in that industry, see what they're doing. And then as you generate interactions, as you generate leads, keep track of them, because the next step is setting an appointment. But let me go into another technique here. And this technique is called, I was going to share my screen again, but I don't think I need to right this instant. This technique is called the house list. The house list. Now, a house list is a list that belongs to the house, right? So there's really two ways you can fill your house list. One is you can use a technique we call follow your money. So whoever you're already spending your money with, go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm doing now. Are you interested in being a part of it? Right? Again, you're just generating a lead. So you look at it and say, oh, I spend $100 a month with, Grande Communications. I'm going to reach out to Grande Communications and ask them if they want sales training. I'm going to reach out to Grande Communications and ask them if they need someone to provide fudge for their Christmas party. So look at where your bills are going. Who are you spending money with? Call them up, put them on, add them to your house list. Your house list are the people that you have a relationship with. These are the people that you go through your phone and say, oh yeah, that's a person who I know well, who would be interested in purchasing this. The house list are people you already have a relationship with. You already technically have the lead, you probably just don't know it. The house list. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Gonna move on to the next one, which is networking, which probably will take more time to explain this one than anything else I'm gonna talk about today. Right? Networking. Absolutely love networking. I have a confession to make though. I did not always love networking. There was a time when I absolutely hated networking. I went to a networking event when I was very young, when I was very new to the whole sales industry. And I ended up getting pinned in the back corner. And someone tried to pitch me on their product or service at the networking event. And then I had people calling and following up with me and trying to pitch me over the phone for the following weeks. And I looked at it and said, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. I'm not doing this. If this is what networking is about, I don't need this. You see, all these people got confused. All these people got confused and started telling themselves that networking is the same as selling. Networking is not the same as selling, because remember, all you're looking for is name and a form of contact. And what do you usually have on a business card? A name and a form of contact. Funny how that works. So go out there, go to a networking event with the intention to just pick up one or two new names or forms of contact. One or two new names or forms of contact. So you go there and you get a couple of people to chat with you. That's all you need. You get their contact information and you now have two leads. Not just that, you have two warm leads because they've met you and they're actually interested in talking with you. You see, the problem I had with those people who started calling me up the week after I attended that networking event was I hadn't actually talked to any of them. I didn't know who any of them were. They grabbed my card when we did the pass cards thing and decided to call me and try and sell me. That's not the point of networking. Networking is about finding a lead, generating a lead. And again, that lead may go into any one of your funnels, but you go there with the intention to generate leads. And then you deliver a powerful elevator pitch about what you do. Remember, if you go back to day 2, we talked about what the market actually needs. That's what your pitch is about, not your product, not your features, not your service. Sit there and tell me what the market needs and how I'm going to deliver that for you. Then people will come up to you and they'll have questions and they'll want to talk, and you can exchange cards and you generated a lead. So those are 3 techniques. Now, the beautiful thing about networking is that it does take a while to get going. And some of you guys are going, wait a second, Stephanie, hold on a second. That's not multitasking. You're not getting leverage out of that. Well, actually I am, because not only do my networking events generate leads for me, but they generate relationships. And I'm very careful about who I network with, because I want to generate a relationship with someone who can make a difference for me. Either who can connect me to someone extremely powerful, extremely important, someone I need to be connected to, or who can put me on the track to those connections. It's not so much about getting out there and getting a lead for me, because I do get those and I get referrals all the time. But networking is about building relationships as well. And those relationships, those are the ones that work after you're gone. When you go on vacation for a couple of months, someone says, oh my gosh, you got to use this business. You got to buy this stuff. It's amazing. This is the person you got to be talking to. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. You want sales training? You got to go to Steph. You got to call her up. You're struggling with revenue? Oh my gosh, yeah, no, you got to call Stephanie up. That's exactly what you need. So networking does work long term. It takes time to set up, but the returns on it have been huge. People who have opened doors for me that I never would have had opened for me if I hadn't been out networking regularly. So yeah, I recommend networking as a lead generation tool. So let's talk about the last one, appointment setting. Now I want to talk about this one as far as the #1 technique for setting appointments I can give you. And that is to use a script. A lot of people look at scripting as a way of coming across as harsh and like, okay, here's my example. Thank you for calling today. I must warn you that this call might be monitored or recorded for quality assurance purposes. Now, may I please have your name and phone number? And do you have the answer to your security question? Right? That's what people think of when they think of a script. They think of something that is stilted, that's obviously being read off. That's not what I want here. But what I want you to realize is that people respond in predictable ways. When you find a script that works to generate leads, when you find a script that works to set appointments, that you say that script and everyone's going, heck yeah, how quickly can I sit down with you? Use that script over and over and over again. I never knew that I was doing this until I started getting trained, right? So I was doing great in sales before I started getting sales training. Then I got sales training and I started doing even better in sales. But I was giving people the value of the appointment, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, but I was doing it pretty consistently. I've always had more appointments than I could possibly run. Right now, I'm running, this particular week, I'm running 10 speaking engagements. As I'm running this recording right now for, the long haul with these, I'm running 10 speaking engagements this week. I have in between that coaching calls, new client calls where I'm looking to recruit a new client into the business, I have more appointments than I can run at this point. And I have way more appointments to run than I can spend setting those appointments. So that's why I had to get someone to help me set appointments. But having a script that works, if you give me 10 leads, I can set appointments with 9 out of the 10 because I have a script that works. Now, what's in that script? What I sell people on is the value of the appointment. You see, the biggest flaw that I've seen people do is sell on the value of the service or the product before they even get into the appointment. Look, if you could sell your product or your service before you get into an appointment with somebody, then let's be totally honest, you wouldn't need the appointment. But you have a much higher closing ratio once you get them into the appointment. Sell the value of the appointment and they will want to meet with you. They will line up to meet with you. So when I was working selling marketing, what I would tell people is, hey, I live and breathe marketing. You live and breathe your business. Let me come in and talk with you about what you're already doing on your marketing. And I'll give you some ideas to help improve what you're already doing. And if one of our programs happens to fit in with what you are already doing, then I would love to hook you up at that time. Business owners are desperate for marketing help. They don't know what they're doing. And if you can come across as an expert to help them out, they will meet with you every single time and love doing it. So when you're getting ready to set the appointment, it is vitally important that you set the value of the appointment, not the value of the product. See, the value of the product is if you want to meet with me, if you're willing to sit down with me, I can show you how to save money. All right, but the way that's phrased, it's become it's a cliche, a nomenclature. It basically means if you spend money with me, I'll save you money. And they're sitting there going, I don't really believe you. So instead, you can use the same script, but let me add a little line. If you're willing to sit down and meet with me, I can show you how to save money whether or not we end up working together on any one of my products or services. How cool is that? Whether or not we end up working together, I'm going to show you how to save some money on your recycling. I'm going to show you how to save money on your marketing. I'm going to show you how to, I will give you some ideas on how to improve your business and grow your business. Whether or not we end up working together, I'd be happy to try and offer you some feedback and some help. That's value of the appointment, not of my product or service. You don't have to buy from me to get that from me. And I don't have a problem putting that kind of value out there for people because you know what? That turns into a 6-figure income for me. I don't need to worry about whether or not I'm putting out more value and not getting the sales because people are eager to spend money with you when you've added value to their life. People pay for value. If you give them value just in the appointment itself, they will absolutely love to spend their money with you in the future. So as a recap, here's what I want you to do. Your homework assignments for today. I want you to go out there and do some research on the social media platforms that you want to be prevalent on. Go out there and research these platforms. Pick at least 2 that you want to run for yourself to generate leads on. Find a networking event to attend. Go through your house list, your follow the money. Where are you spending your money? Add them to your leads list. And then write up your appointment setting script. Write up your appointment setting script. Are you selling the value of the appointment? Do they have to buy from you in order to get value out of meeting with you? Because if they do, it might be time to tweak your script. And as soon as you do, I guarantee you will have more appointments than you know what to do with. So that's your VAX for today. Visual, look either in the mirror, look at a partner. Auditory, rub your ears, stimulate your ears. Kinesthetic, do something physical, sun salutations, jumping jacks, punching. I don't care what you want to do. And then sensory, hands over the heart, feel and believe what you are saying. And tell yourself, I have more leads and appointments than I can possibly fill. I have more leads and appointments than I can possibly fill. Sooner or later, you will start to believe that. And when you start to believe it, your mind, your body will start to transform it into reality. I'm looking forward to wrapping this up tomorrow with closing the sale and handling objections. I cannot wait. It's going to be a long talk. I'm going to move very quickly. Spend time on this. Go through it again if you need to. But get people to think about the value, right? We talked about landing pages, right? If you're going to send people to a landing page to make the sale, I want you to think about what's the value of them going to that landing page. Why should they go to that landing page? And add value to it. And you will get more appointments than you can possibly sell. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys again. I cannot wait to catch up with y'all. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. If you are interested in coming on for some live coaching at the end of tomorrow's broadcast, if you are one of the few people who are watching this live, or not few, but since we are going to be reproducing this, if you're one of the people who's watching this live, if you're interested in coming on for live coaching tomorrow, I need you to get with me. Look me up on social media. Send me a message. Send me a message and let me know you are interested in coming on for coaching tomorrow. You'll have about 15 to 30 minutes to get some one-on-one coaching from me on how to increase your sales. You can either message me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. You can also shoot me an email to Stephanie@thestephaniescheller.com. Let me know, hey, I want to come on for the coaching tomorrow. I'll reserve the space for you. We only have room for one person. The coaching will take place. The webinar will start at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. And coaching will start probably about 1:35, 1:45. So if you're interested, shoot me an email. Let me know I want that free coaching spot. I'll reserve it for you. It's going to be a first come, first serve basis. So let me know. Looking forward to chatting with you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.